Starting with our 6.9 item, 1 p.m., consideration of letter of support for Lake County Land Trust property acquisition, and this is from Supervisor Green. Yeah, and you can come right up here, have a seat. Yeah, come join us up here.
Believe it or not, there's a door. Underneath.
Just give it a little push. There's a button.
Nice.
Okay.
Is it the top one or the bottom one?
The top one. I'm going with your advice on using the PDF.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. We're here with a feel-good item of the day. We're here to consider a letter of support for Lake County Land Trust and a property acquisition they are working on in South Lakeport. Very excited to see that. We have a slide deck and we have a presenter. And with that, I'm just going to hand it right over and hopefully we'll slide that microphone right up so you can introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Mary Jo Velasquez. I'm here representing the Lake County Land Trust. I'm Vice President of the board, and I'm also the Land Trust Lands Committee Chair. And this is currently a Lands Committee project. We're trying to acquire a piece of land that we call the Keesley property. And how do I advance?
Just scroll.
Oops. Okay. So this is the property. It's on the south side of Lakeport. This is South Main Street and 129 in their conjunction, and it's two pieces of property that are owned by the Keithley brothers. It's an 86-acre property, and if you look at the flood zone potential, 78 acres of that is upland, wetlands, and riparian area. It abuts a piece of property we acquired, we call the Wright property. We acquired that in 2020, so it's adjacent to that, which is one, and I will get into the reasons that these two have the possibility to interact and really be a benefit to the lake and to the hitch. Basically, the two properties combined have 5% of the historic wetlands and 16% of the current wetlands. And as I'm sure everybody is aware, we've lost 79% of the historic wetlands in Lake County. So we want to protect what's here. We have a Big Valley Wetlands Protection Plan where which has been approved by the state. We want to protect shoreline wetlands, lakeside riparian woodlands, and wet meadows, stream channels, and riparian zones. It's also, the property contains a crucial spawning area for the Clear Lake hitch, and as probably everybody here knows, the hitch spawn in the lake tributaries, and then the juveniles need to mature in the tules at the mouth of the tributaries. I did not know when I made these slides what was coming after this. Basically, I watched online the October meeting of the California Fish and Game Commission that was focused on the hitch, and they talked about the hitch surveys in 2015. They said there was a poor number of hitch. 2021, no juveniles were found. And someone made the comment based on a visual survey that you've been handed graphs that depict that. They're not likely to show much of an increase. What struck me from this, looking at the data, is that even in years of abundant rainfall, like 2017 and 2019, the fish counts are low. And this is attributed to the loss of habitat and the predation of the juveniles because they've lost the protection of the tule beds at the mouth of the streams. Comments made by Dr. Bonham is we have not picked up as fully as we should have after marking the fish as endangered. Sarah Ryan, who's the environmental director for the Big Valley Band of Pomo Indians, said that there's a risk of extinction of the fish in the next 5 to 7 years. After she made that comment, Director Bonham said that he couldn't really argue that the fish are in good shape. Eric Sklar, who's a director but also chair of the Blue Ribbon Commission, said we are on the verge of extinction. And Director Bonham made the comment that water diversion, in addition to other considerations, is directly related to the threat to the species. Now we get to the reason we really want this property. The Keithley property includes Manning Creek. So this is Manning Creek on the Keithley property. This tree here is about at the border of the Keithley and Wright property. If you looked up close, you'd see that there's a fence there that separates the properties. And these trees here in the distance are willows on the historic delta for Manning Creek. So Manning Creek has been channelized to no longer go out to the delta. So if we are able to acquire the Keithley property, our plan is to do a breaching of Manning Creek based on hydrology studies, and this will result in directing Manning Creek back to its original delta. This is an image from the lake of the current state of the delta. So the delta continues to have the tules that are needed by the hitch for protection as they mature. So this will improve the habitat and diversity and directly benefit the hitch, spawning and rearing habitats. And also, as another benefit, running the Manning Creek through this large delta will improve removal of sediment, and so help enhance water quality and reduce blue-green algae. So the yellow line is the current path of Manning Creek. And the green line, it's based on a topo map that was made before I was born, showing the original paths of Manning Creek. We're not going to be able to restore everything because obviously the diversion started off our property, but we believe hydrologically, given the elevations, that some breaching that we do here will direct some of the water over to restore the original delta. So this property is attractive because it'll be permitting public access. These are some pictures taken up at Rodman Slough that's owned by the Land Trust out there. We currently have, every Saturday, it's open to the public for hiking on the trails and various events. And we want to do something similar on the Wright property. And this is attractive because there's easy access. Part of the property is actually on South Main Street, and very easy access from 29 because of this intersection down here. This is a view of Keithley from South Main Street during a flooding period. So we plan to provide public access, parking area and public access for here so that we can bring people in for public education events, fishing, wildlife viewing, and potentially some hunting, but we haven't really seen a lot that needs hunting there yet, but perhaps with restoration of more riparian areas that could happen. So during dry periods, obviously not now when it's flooded like this, this would also enhance public access to the Wright property, which is sort of tucked back in, and we've had public events there, but this would be more direct access to it. So in summary, protection and restoration of the land and waterway will improve the health of the lake and provide important habitat for the Clear Lake hitch. And it'll also enable us to provide public access for walking, and people can just walk there from South Main Street, or it's a quick drive. Residents and visitors will be able to enjoy this unique experience of this beautiful property and preserve an important part of the lake. So we're asking for a letter of support that we can submit with our application, which is due this spring. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to add anything, Supervisor Green?
No, just thank you very much for that. There is a draft letter of support. Obviously, very excited about this project. The one slight departure from the slide deck in the draft letter, you'll see no reference at all to hunting. And I think as we go down this road, we'll probably talk about South Main Street and stuff like that. But other than that, this letter is very supportive of this. It is not only important to water quality in the lake, it is specifically hitch beneficial, and that is an important subject. So I'm very excited to be able to offer this item and draft this letter of support. And with that, we can open it up for any questions or public input. Thank you.
Anything from the board at this time?
Thank you for bringing this.
Okay, and I'll open it up to public input. If you're in the chambers and you'd like to come up and speak on this, come up to the microphone, state your name, and you'll have 3 minutes. If there's anyone in the Zoom chambers as well?
I see no hands in.
No hands up? Okay, I will close public comment on this item and bring it back to the board. No, you could stay there.
If there's no comments from the board, I move to approve the letter of support for Keithley property acquisition by Lake County Land Trust and authorize the chair to sign.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.